Hi, Next to Change. Vivian here. Do you use your metacognition? Metacognition is an awareness and understanding of your thought processes. In other words, it's thinking about what you're thinking about. So, metacognition is a way to come outside of yourself and almost be like this observer, on your thoughts and what you're thinking. And sometimes we can just go through life blindly or on autopilot because we're just thinking, but we're not really thinking about our thinking. And metacognition, just using that is it's a great tool um, for self-assessing and self-correcting. So sometimes when you're thinking and you're just going through and you're not really thinking about what you're thinking about, sometimes you will accept a lot of things that may, for truth, that may not be reasonably true, or you may just hear something and receive it without getting the evidence or the facts because you're not really self-assessing your thoughts and correcting those thoughts. So, it's a good way to help you in your life so that you are having concrete thoughts that benefit you. And then, of course, from your conscious mind, because that's where you're doing your metacognition, is looking at and assessing the thoughts that you're holding in your conscious mind. Now, we do have a subconscious mind, and if you're evaluating the thoughts you're thinking in your conscious mind, there will be a collateral impact to your subconscious mind. And if you're thinking the right thoughts and you're eliminating a lot of the errors that can happen, that can only help you because in the end, the subconscious mind is really a lot about what you believe to be true, right? So what you really believe to be true. And so, I want to talk about a little bit of the self assessing and how it's done. So, you're thinking a thought, and, you know, it's a good tool also if you're a student in school and you're learning and you're getting these concepts and you're thinking and you have to write an essay. Then you start thinking about, why you're thinking this or thinking about how you're thinking it. And you're asking your questions like what, why, is this rational? Does this make sense? What evidence do I have for this? And also just in your everyday life, because a lot of times we can think on the wrong thoughts. We can perseverate on things that aren't good to us and for us. And in the end, those things create doubt, they create worry, they create things that we may not really have evidence for, but we go along with it. So, you think about what you're thinking about. Where did that thought come from? And that's good for people who want to practice more positivity in their life. Where did this thought come from? Why am I thinking this? What is the evidence that I have for this? Is this a beneficial thought for me? Because you could have a thought that you really have no control over and you're just thinking about it all day. And then you can step out of your side of yourself and look and see, what am I thinking? What do my thoughts consist of? Why am I thinking that? And are those thoughts beneficial for me? So that's the chance for you to, make some corrections, correct some errors. And then once you're looking at that, because remember, metacognition is for assessing, but it's also for self-correcting. So what mistake are you making? What philosophical error are you making? Where is it? And that gives you a chance to, again, be the observer and put yourself kind of in a non-subjective position as much as you can do that, and look at those thoughts and prune those thoughts. And then the self-correcting would be reframing. You know, maybe, the thought that, my this thing that I really want to happen is just taking so long, it's never going to happen. Maybe that to reframe that thought could be, was that true? Is it really never going to happen? Is it never going to happen? And you can look at that, and well, then you probably say, well, that's not necessarily true. I don't have evidence that it's never going to happen. And maybe, what can I do? Because you can problem solve with this too, right? And it's also a planning tool. So then you can start saying, well, if I do more of this, maybe it will happen. Or, it can happen. I'm just not having enough patience. I just need more patience. Or just, usually when you have defeated thoughts, those are thoughts that need to be observed and to be looked at. When you use statements like everybody, like things, bad things always happen to me, or, you can look at that and say, do they always happen to me? And then you can say, that's not a true statement. Bad things don't always happen to me. But you have to stop and look at what you're saying, and sometimes we can't catch it right then. You have to practice it. It's a good tool. The more you practice it, the more it will become second nature. But if you practice that, and even if you set aside some time, at the end of the day, a lot of people journal and they talk about the events of the day, or it also gives them a chance to capture, right? It gives them a chance to use their metacognition to see what have they been thinking about all day, self-assessing those thoughts, and then self-correcting. So, think about that, and the more that you even think about metacognition, even the word, it'll be a trigger for you to remember to assess and to use metacognition. It's an awesome tool. It helps you with your understanding, again, your awareness of your thoughts. And your thoughts are really important. More important probably than you even know. And once you start taking inventory of those thoughts, you can look at those thoughts and see how those thoughts are directly affecting your life. So this is Vivian here, and don't forget to monitor your thoughts. Don't forget to use that tool, metacognition, so you're thinking about what you're thinking about, and then assess it and then correct it where necessary. So this is Vivian here, Next to Change. Be the next to change.